Hello, everybody, Raven fans, Oriole fans, and thank you for joining us this week on the Ravery Sports podcast post-game edition of the Ravens winning today's game against the Detroit Lions. So, how many of you thought this would be a tough game for the Ravens? I did. Oh, wow. This was a wow. I mean, compared to what we've seen. 38-6 Lions over the Ravens today. This was not much of a ball game from the start. Ravens took control early, kept control out the game. Lions did not play well today. Obviously, this was all Ravens today, all four quarters. I think they got out. I mean, it sums it up pretty early. Ravens' first 4 or 5 possessions, they put it in the end zone. The Lions punted the ball away today. Dominant on both sides. Offense looked fantastic. Defense looked fantastic. Lamar, outstanding stuff. One of his best games, I think, as a pro. Over 300 yards passing, 3 TD passes and a TD run. Perfect as good as you can get. His feet in the pocket, feeling the rush, moving away from the rush, not just using his athletic ability nowadays to just go to the end zone, which he's still very capable of doing, but just moving away from defenders, pocket awareness, sliding feet, little football nerd stuff you're seeing from Lamar. Outstanding stuff from him. I thought throwing the ball, it was outstanding. This guy, Mark Andrews, they need him in the red zone. When you have the difference between teams that score and finish drives in the red zone, one of the reasons why Lamar has been so good throwing the football in the red zone throughout his career is because he's had Mark Andrews on his team. You need tight ends in the red zone, and then you need big, tall, physical receivers that can get that. And that's exactly what they had. 2 TD passes. I'll say this. He's getting stride. To me, he still doesn't look like the same guy as far as his receivers go. He still doesn't look like the great Mark Andrews. He's getting a little older, but very good today. Very good stuff that Mark Andrews did. I thought very solid overall performance from Mark Andrews today. It was outstanding. Defense, Kyle Van Noy had 2 sacks today. I thought that was outstanding. That's a good addition. I kind of said it at the time. I see him more as a guy who sets the edge on the outside more than this dominant pass rusher. But I think he's kind of can do that. He's at his age. I don't know how much of a dominant pass rusher, but hey, 2 sacks. His sacks will be kind of the cleanup variety. You know, you're getting the pressure. He misses one guy. You're just going to go, oh, there's Van Noy there with the good tackling to go ahead and do that. That's kind of what he's going to do. The Ravens defense is top 5 in the league. I mean, definitely. They're ranked 2nd. They're fantastic. I tell you also, too. Well, we'll stick with the line before I get to that. But I thought Van Noy was very good today. Adafiowe got a sack today. He was back in action, so that was good. I thought Adafiowe played well early in the game. I thought it was a good performance there. Just Davian Clowney, not as good this week in general as well, but But hey, Roquan, we know how good he is, right? I don't need run out of superlatives for how good Roquan Smith is. The stat was very interesting during the game. The number 1-2 defense in the league with Roquan Smith there. This guy is an absolute difference maker. Patrick Queen is going to make a lot of money now because he's playing with Roquan Smith. Patrick Queen, uh, Patrick Queen was very impressed now how much better his tackling is in the open field. Even in a game where it was well in hand, Patrick Queen made a tackle. We got Patrick Queen made a tackle in the open field that was very good. Patrick Queen, guy, defender wide open in field. Patrick wrapped him up, fundamentally sound tackle in the open field where nobody else was able to get to him. So good stuff by Patrick Queen as well. Somebody else that's going to make a lot of money is Geno Stone. Geno Stone was fantastic again. Another interception today. So now he is a backup safety, is now leading the NFL in interceptions due to the injuries to Marcus Williams, Kyle Hamilton not playing in the game. So he's getting more playing time and he is taking advantage of it. He is really showing the league now that he is a starting NFL safety. Good fundamental all-around guy, kind of like a Chuck Clark, like what we had for so many years. He doesn't cover the ground that Marcus Williams does. He's not as strong as Kyle Hamilton is, but very well-rounded. Does a lot well. Kind of sees offense as well. I kind of noticed that with him. He always seems to be in the right spot. Always seems to be in the right area. So good stuff by Geno Stone. The defense was fantastic. They gave up a few points today. Let's talk about the Lions a little bit. The Lions just didn't show up. I was shocked that they were this bad, frankly. They're in the NFC. I think possibly they're the best team in the NFC so far. Not named San Fran. I think they're they're definitely in the top 4, and they just didn't show up at all. Got off the field early. Defense didn't play well at all. That was a bit of a surprise. I think the defense is not as great as is not as good as the offense, but they didn't show up at all. Ravens, every time they went down and scored, Aiden Hutchinson was pretty much a non-factor. I think he was their main guy. I mean, he's pretty much their main guy. The running back didn't play. I know David Montgomery didn't play. Jamar Gibbs. They have a good crew running backs. Had so much. Golf wasn't awful. If you look at the stats, he was over 200 yards passing, but kind of like didn't get off to a good start, and the Ravens did. So it was pretty much all over early for that as well with the Lions. So I don't think it's going to hurt the Lions too much. Honestly, I think they have a pretty easy schedule, relatively speaking. The division is not any good. A lot of the NFC is not any good. I mean, outside of San Francisco, Dallas, and Philly, I think the Lions are as good as any team. Like, I mean, New Orleans, Atlanta. I mean, there's not, maybe the Rams are in that class. I mean, the Rams have gotten off to a decent enough start, but I don't think they are. I don't think they're in the same class as Detroit. Detroit just had a bad day. I mean, they just didn't get off the bus today. They didn't feel like they didn't feel like getting off the bus today. They didn't want to show up at all. Ravens just took advantage just from start to finish. A lot. Just start to finish. Good confidence on offense. We got to see Tyler Huntley today. That's how far ahead the Ravens were. Gus Edwards, kind of numbers has been the same all year. He's only going to get apparently 16, 17 carries. He's going to get around 50, between 40 and 60 yards. He's kind of had the same stat line the entire year. Gus Edwards. Receivers, back to the offense, eating a little bit more. Zay Flowers over 70 yards. We talked about Andrews having a good day. Odell, I definitely like his role. Definitely like a junkyard dog type role, like the Hines Ward, the Steve Smith type, knocking down receivers, making tough long catches. I really like what I've seen. Not as much yards. I know some of the fans like to see more yards or the same guy. I'm fine with this. Even Rashad Bateman today had a decent enough day. Look, Bateman has a lot of talent. Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman has the physical ability to be a number one receiver in the NFL. I mean, there's no question about that. It's just he hasn't been healthy enough to stay on the field. Rashad Bateman's upset, but essentially, I mean, in the offseason, the Ravens basically said, like, we're replacing this receiving corps. He was the best member of it, which is why he's still here. But they're not keeping a lot of these receivers. Crochet is gone. A lot of those other guys are gone. He's still here. So that's basically what they thought. But I think the physical, the ability he has, definitely, he's certainly capable of that. Offensive line was really good today as well. Ronnie Stanley, I think, I mean, it looked like, if you ever seen the movie The Blind Side, Jesus Christ, I thought he was going to push that guy to the bus, that Lions player on that run, on that Lamar run. So good day today. Overall, by the Ravens, I thought they were really, really good from start to finish in this one. So the Ravens, 38-6 over the Detroit Lions. This one not in question at any point today. This is about as good as it's going to get. Next week, we're going to go ahead and they're going to go to Arizona and play the Arizona Cardinals. Let's see how the Ravens do against the Cardinals. May be playing against Kyler Murray, who may be starting for the first time this year. So definitely check it out. If you enjoyed this video or this type of content, Ravens, Orioles content, Baltimore Ravens, Baltimore Orioles, Maryland Terps, football and basketball. You can check it all right here. And also, too, we talk about a lot of things Baltimore sports here. So definitely check it out. Like and subscribe to all of our social media content. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Ravery Sports Podcast, the Baltimore Sports Podcast. You have an awesome rest of your day.